We're finally up to chapter 10, Unending Pain and Finding Freedom. So after my arranged marriage, the pain never left. And that's what made me start to search for how to live in my body. And I began to question everything because, where was God or who was God if I was needing to heal? And it was such a difficult thing. It didn't seem like what I was taught was really lining up with how my life was feeling at all. And I started reading some books, which is what I talked about in the last chapter, and this is what I started to begin to experience, which was the beginning of changing my life completely.
Like a seed planted, falling apart inside the earth, the pain had pushed me under, taken me apart, and in this dark space, I allowed myself to break and recreate. In my desperation to heal, I tore myself open into an infinity of death, and what I found was something incredibly beautiful. The normal filters that protect us from the complex moving sensations of our aliveness had shattered, and now the sensitivity of my body as the experiencer of all tiny, detailed pulses of living became knowable to me. The pain had made me see my body as an instrument life plays upon, and how I wished to tune myself so that the music I made could be clear, instead of the screech of my broken song. In the early days of my healing, I began to experiment with water fasting. On the second day, I could almost taste the moisture in the air. Like I could drink the air. Our breath provides oxygen that fans the fire of the metabolic process to produce energy. Where breath is stimulated, it burns and releases energy to be used instead of held in the body. If I took no food to burn, maybe my breath would burn through the density of the tension I held. Then all that tight, hard energy could be burned instead. In the hypnotic state of working with my emotions and aching to get more breath into myself, I began to sense that through my breath, I could find answers. I began to notice that thoughts, activities, or interactions with people that made me feel good opened my body and my breath, while negativity and tension tightens and hardens, holding breath back. I became obsessed with my breath. In Hebrew, the word neshima, which means breath, and the word neshama, which means spirit or soul, are the same except for one letter, the vav, symbolizing the I, the connecting letter. It is through the breath that we keep the connection between our spirits and our physical body. We can live without food for weeks, without water for days. We cannot live without our breath for more than a few seconds before the brain begins to shut down. Irreparable damage begins to occur. Our breath is our deepest connection to life itself. It was through this precious, subtle, and tenuous connection that I began to truly understand. The twisted clenching in the center of my body had become my greatest teacher. I had learned to listen and acknowledge that feelings were important. It was valuable to listen to them. Feeling into my own aliveness without form or judgment passed by the eyes of others brought me a bliss independent of anything but the life flowing inside of me. I imagined if I could hike up my breath to breathe, so deep and so powerful, flooding my entire body with its life-giving oxygen, my breath would burn through every limitation in my being, and release the power of its pain with an equal intensity, transformed into the joyous energy of movement that could race through me. In my digging excavations of my emotions stimulated by my breath, the fire of life as it metabolizes fuel into energy became possible for me to feel. I'd push my breath down into the pain in my abdominal core. The pain would break and metabolize and shoot tiny sparks of energy all through my arms and legs. The sensation was so rapturous it never failed to release in me tremendous joy. True and satisfying happiness is found in the things that make us feel our connection to life, and it is usually found in the things and experiences people love. I found it in the raw experience of pain.
So there are already 10 chapters of the audio. So there are already 10 audio chapters I recorded and uploaded to my fan page on Ko-fi. It's kofi.com/thesilencescream. I'll put a link in the description. And I think my book will be ready on Amazon later this month. So these are just excerpts, but of course there's more to the story. I'd love if you follow along. Also, if you sign up for Ko-fi, you'll see more movement videos, just stuff that just regular stretching I do on a daily basis, and you can follow along with me. So I hope to see you there.